Alright, chat boys, man. As y'all can tell by the title, we got Jocks took advantage of cheerleaders and her worst moment, Madison Brooks case. Let's get into it.
A tragedy that's dividing a Louisiana community down racial lines.
Listen, this is a tragedy. Definitely not a crime.
We're not going to allow any victim blaming to occur here.
People around her should not have taken advantage of her. They should have protected her.
Yeah, so much left to figure out. A very disturbing case.
I'm sorry that I offended you that bad. Get out, get out.
In the city of Covington, Louisiana, resided Madison Kennedy Brooks, the eldest daughter of John Brooks and Ashley Bostert, and big sister to Aiden and Brady. Madison was a go-getter who excelled in school, both in academics and in extracurricular activities. She was an honor roll student at St. Scholastica Academy when she graduated back in 2021 and went on to be accepted at Louisiana State University's Manship School of Mass Communication. Driven with ambition, Madison even chose to stay in school during the summer to complete her summer classes and jump ahead. Apart from these, the determined woman juggled being a cheerleader, a school athlete, and an active member of communities like Doves for Life and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She was set to complete the last semester of her sophomore year in 2023. She was a lively woman, taking an interest in traveling, skydiving, skiing, and going on adventures to explore new cities. Top it off, she was also an active and devoted sister at the esteemed Alpha Phi sorority. The future had so much in store for her.
Did she die? They talking about her like she died.
Trailblazer like Madison. However, one night, her bright and happy life took an unimaginable turn. On the night of January 14th, 2023, Madison and her friends decided to welcome the weekend with a fun-filled night of partying, drinking, and dancing. At 10:06 p.m., they went to a local Baton Rouge bar in Tigerland and dancing. At 10:06 p.m., they went to a local Baton Rouge bar in Tigerland called Reggie's. Being one of the most popular bars in the area, Reggie's was a go-to drinking place for local college students, more so since it had a reputation for bending a few rules on who they served drinks to. By 10:18 p.m., a group of men strolled into Reggie's as well, and before long, they mingled with Madison's group. At some point, Madison was even seen dancing with and hugging one of the men. As the partying went on, Madison exchanged text messages with her mother, Ashley, and even sent her a picture of herself with the son of one of her mother's previous sorority sisters. At 11:38 p.m., after assuring her mother that she'll be safe and at home right after her night out, Madison ended their conversation with an "I love you." By 1 a.m., Madison was seen swaying, stumbling, and even slurring her
slurring your words. Alright, I say this shit all the time. We are grown ass adults. Stop getting drunk to the point to where you can't control this shit. You can't control it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, like, alright, I know where the story going. I know where this shit is going. You know what I'm saying? I already know some weird shit is about to go on. You know what I'm saying? But you literally have to fight half the battle in what you do before the shit happens. You can't, like, don't get drunk if you can't control this shit, bro. Like, niggas have to understand these type of people are out here, bro. We can't do nothing about it. We can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't do nothing about it. So you have to make sure when you go out and do these things, you're not fucking drunk, scuffed to the point, girl. What they call it, white girl wasted? Oh, you falling all over the place and shit. You're probably drooling. You can't talk English. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right for niggas to, cause like I said, I know where the story going, but I'm not saying it's right for niggas to do this shit, but you have to control that shit. You had to control that shit. What's going on with the friends? The friends that this happened? The friends that she went there with? What?
Words as her drinks muddled her senses. She fell over a handful of times, but still kept getting back up with the help of one of the men she danced with. A while later, her new friends decided it was time to leave. It was only then that Madison noticed that her group was nowhere to be found. As if they'd left without her. Because of then that Madison noticed that...
That's fucked up. fucked up.
A while later, her new friends
Y'all want shit to be so right, but y'all can't even support each other. This shit could have been easily resolved. And like I said, I don't want to make this shit about her friends or anything, because this shit shouldn't have happened still. Even if her friends left on purpose, it shouldn't have happened. But that shit could have been resolved right there. How the fuck do y'all forget y'all friend like that, knowing y'all got drunk?
decided it was time to leave. It was only then that Madison noticed that her group was nowhere to be found, as if they'd left without her. Because of this, she turned to her new companions and asked for a ride home. Luckily, one of the men brought their car with them.
Why would you
Madison
do that?
followed the group to the parking lot. By 1:54 a.m., Madison and the men
You too
drove off.
loose. You too loose. You just doing shit. You just doing shit, bro. Like, you doing shit for no reason. Take a Uber, Lyft. Why would you, like, 4 niggas? Like,
Into the
you don't
night,
even know
just an
them.
hour later, at 2:50 a.m. on January 15th, 2023, the sound of a collision pierced through the peaceful night at Burbank Drive, just a few miles away from the bar. A pedestrian was hit, so the driver of the vehicle got out of his car, followed by 2 other drivers on the road. This also drew the attention of passers-by in the area, who scrambled towards the scene. They were greeted by a disturbing sight: the body of a woman slumped over the side of the road, unmoving and hurt badly. So the witnesses dialed 911 to report the incident. Authorities quickly responded, calmly instructing the caller to administer first aid to the woman while waiting for paramedics to arrive. The concerned citizens obeyed and stayed with the victim until
Nah, all
help
jokes
arrived.
aside, her friends failed her. All jokes to the side. Her friends, I was never joking when I would say that, but her friends failed her. Like that's this some fucked up shit on the friends end. Yeah, I hope y'all live with that shit for forever. Y'all was supposed to, like, I don't fuck with that.
Paramedics eventually took over to resuscitate and load the victim into an ambulance before quickly transporting her to the hospital. There, medical personnel, with the help of police investigators who surveyed the crime scene, identified the car accident victim as Madison Brooks. Ashley Bostard, who was at home about an hour away from Louisiana, got the call from the police. Alarmed, she hurriedly went to the hospital with her mother, Mandy LeBlanc. Sadly, by the time they reached the hospital, Madison was
That bitch
barely
look
clinging
crazy.
to life. Clinging on to hope that they'd at least have a chance to say goodbye, Ashley called over the rest of the family to be by Madison's side in her final moments. Despite the doctor's efforts to revive her, it was too late. In the early hours of January 15th, 2023, the doctors declared that Madison Brooks had succumbed to her injuries. The horrific events made the next day's morning news, startling the sleepy
Let me
Sunday
guess.
morning of Baton Rouge.
Let me guess. They try to do some stupid shit, and she, like,
The distraught family mourned Madison, but for Ashley, something wasn't right with the events leading to her daughter's demise.
Yeah.
First, she found out that Madison didn't have her phone with her, nor was it anywhere near the place she was hit. Her daughter being on a rainy highway at 3 in the morning, alone and with no phone, was odd for Ashley since Madison was supposed to be at the bar with her friends. Not long after, Madison's family found her phone back in Reggie's. This provided the authorities the place to start their investigation to uncover how Madison ended up on the highway that evening. The bar gave their full cooperation and turned over all surveillance footage of that night. Skimming through video footage from Reggie's bar, they saw the 4 men who stuck to Madison's side nearly the whole time she was there. They were Kaysen Carver, Kyvon Washington, Desmond Carter, and Kayvon's uncle, Everett Lee. Authorities immediately contacted each of the men, believing that they were the last.
why didn't she ask the taller white guy for a ride?
To have seen Madison alive. On January 16th, 2023, Kaysen Carver voluntarily went to the sheriff's office and agreed to answer questions, while Desmond and Everett declined to give their statements. Kaysen attended Walker High School, where he played on the baseball team, in which his father was the coach. This was where he met Kyvon and Desmond, who both played in the school's varsity football. Kaysen confirmed that they went to Reggie's that night where they met Madison, though he stressed that didn't know her until then. He confirmed that she was very intoxicated and that she was unable to keep her balance during their time at the bar. He also admitted that she asked them for a ride home since her friends left, thus asserting that Madison willingly left with them that night. Kaysen was the group's driver that night, while Everett was in the passenger seat. Kayvon, Desmond, and Madison were in the back seat. At some point, Kaysen claimed to have pulled over on Jennifer Jean Drive, where he allegedly heard Desmond asking Madison if she wanted to spend some private time with him. According to Kaysen, she said yes. He recalled being uncomfortable about the interaction happening in the back seat, especially when Kayvon joined in. Kaysen maintained that Madison agreed to this act.
Yeah, that nigga weird. That nigga weird. I ain't gonna cap. Bitch, that fucked up. You need to back up off those. Real shit. Yeah, you weird. Nigga could have at least, like what I'm saying, nigga could have asked for the number or some shit. If that sounded like, it sounded like something else, I
asked him if she could have been too impaired to consent. He answered yes.
Yeah, see, that's
After
what
that, they struggled to find Madison's address, given that she wasn't coherent enough to tell them. Because of this, the group eventually gave up and decided to drop her off at a nearby subdivision called Pelican Lakes on Burbank Drive. This is where Madison met her untimely death moments later. After Kaysen gave his statement, Kayvon also agreed to give his own, but waived his rights to an attorney. He recounted the same story that his friend told the police, emphasizing how Madison was quite inebriated. He added that when they went to the car, Madison and Desmond already started touching each other, though he denied that he himself participated in their intimate activities. Despite this, when investigators asked him for a DNA sample, Kayvon clammed up and requested for an attorney. On January 18, 2023, an autopsy was done on Madison's body. Shane Evans, the chief of investigations for East Baton Rouge's coroner's office.
ain't no way. There is no way.
The cause of Madison's passing was multiple traumatic injuries and second motor vehicular collision. This meant that she was still alive at the time of the crash, though incapacitated. After a thorough examination, the coroner also discovered a much more disturbing detail.
There's no way. Don't
Madison's
tell me.
body was also found with injuries consistent with forced intimacy. The hospital's
Oh, bro, I thought it was something else. I'm not laughing at that.
medical records also revealed that Madison's blood alcohol content was nearly 4 times the legal limit.
Oh my
She was
God.
likely experiencing the effects of liquor poisoning, including confusion and even loss of consciousness.
Anytime you get above 0.25 percent alcohol intoxication, that is when you start getting into trouble with your balance, trouble walking straight without assistance.
Apart from these, Madison was likely too intoxicated to be aware of her surroundings, let alone be conscious enough to agree to certain acts. With the autopsy and medical records released, along with
this shit.
the men's statements, authorities believed that this was more than a motor vehicle accident. Madison Brooks was subjected to physical harm before being abandoned by those she believed would get her home safe. With this, the men she was with on that night were held at the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office Jail on January 24, 2023, for suspicion of harming Madison before her death. During their bond hearing, the suspect's attorneys turned over a video.
And niggas gotta understand, like, I don't want to pull no race car, bro. It's for you black ass niggas in this car, bro. That should make you not want to, bro, go there at all. Anything fucked up happened in this car, niggas is going to jail. You're going to jail, even if she said the loudest yes in the world. If anything goes wrong, even if she would consent, like even if she somehow was still kind of like in the right mind, because she wasn't in the right mind. There's no way. They said she was falling over earlier in the video, so she wasn't in the right mind at all. But even if she was, if she came out and said made up a bullshit story, you're going to fucking jail. Even like, bro, it looked crazy. It looked crazy. And y'all know how this shit works. Like I ain't gonna sit right and put on race car, but y'all know how this shit works, bro. 4 niggas in the car with 1 white girl. You know what I'm saying? She come out saying some shit, got injuries or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She hit herself by accident, bro. You're going to jail.
Car on that fateful night. It showed the men laughing and joking about the
Don't you dare
inebriated
touch that
Madison,
bitch at
who
all.
demanded to get out so she could call a car to go home.
I'm sorry that I offended you that bad. Get out, get out.
Yeah, she was drunk.
I was Uber all man.
They presented this video as evidence that Madison was coherent enough to make her decisions and prove the suspect's innocence.
Nah, she won't. You can hear it. You can hear it. Nigga, you record that shit and it was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna still hit the jump. Like, nigga, you a desperate ass nigga. She was not right. You can hear it. Literally.
It's evidence that Madison was
Yeah, the motherfucker, like,
Real man.
They presented this video as evidence. However, Judge Brad Meyer enough to make her decisions and prove the suspect's innocence. However, Judge Brad Meyer saw the opposite. Instead, he saw how callous the suspects were by cackling at the way she was slurring her words. From this video and from another footage from the bar that showed Madison falling over repeatedly, Judge Myers came to the conclusion that a crime had indeed happened. With the evidence stacked against them, Kason Carver, Kyvon Washington, Desmond Carter, and Everett Lee were.
Because my thing is, why would you even record that shit? Why would you even record that?
Actually charged. Kyvon and Desmond faced charges of third-degree aggression, while Kason and Everett were charged for being witnesses to their crime without intervening or reporting it. Kyvon, Everett, and Kason were allowed to be put on house arrest with ankle monitors after posting bail, which were set between $50,000 and $150,000 each. They were also asked to submit to random blood tests, advised not to post anything about the case on social media platforms or to contact Madison's family in any way. Then, on February 22nd, 2023, Desmond faced a grand jury and was charged with 2 counts of intimate aggression. In addition, on May 16th, 2023, Kyvon Washington was indicted once again by the East Baton Rouge Parish Grand Jury on 2 counts of intimate and physical attacks and for recording a video of the crime. He has since been held at Livingston Parish Detention Center. As for the driver who fatally hit Madison, he was not charged and his identity has not been made public. While investigations continued, authorities discovered that Kyvon had a similar run-in with the law back in 2020 when he was accused of taking advantage of a female at a pool party. His attorney, Ron Haley, asserted that his client cooperated with the investigation at that time.
Nigga, pre-planning shit. Yeah, I'm ready to go to this party. Yeah, I'm pulling up on the drunkest junk in there, and I'm gonna go in and try to, you know what I'm saying, get something just off her. Like, come on, bro, tighten up, bro. Like, that shit is like mind blowing. Like, that shit is mind fucking boggling. Like, bro, that shit not that serious, bro. What the fuck? Are you okay? Like, I don't understand that shit.
And will continue to do so with the current case. Their lawyers also highlighted how security footage from Reggie's proved that Madison willingly left with the men and was not forced into their car in any way. Haley
I don't give a fuck if you record or you try to, like, bro, no, don't do it. Like, not do it. It's a million billion fucking other sober bitches that you can pull up on and get to know, you know what I'm saying, and hit them jokes. Don't go to a club, don't go to a party, you know what I'm saying, just to pull up on a drunk joint. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, you can hit the joint and everything go right, bro. Even if it do go right, you still want some, you know what I'm saying, I don't know. That's still some weird shit, but
that Madison was coherent enough that she could even be seen running across the street to catch up with them.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna lie, just off the fact that, you know what I'm saying, niggas live with their mom for a long time, when she be drunk, she be saying yes to shit. Like, I remember asking my mom for V-Bucks when I was younger, when she was drunk. Every time she got drunk, I asked her for some shit. Literally, so it's like, it's shit like that. It's like,
Attorney Joe Long
you know,
maintained
bro,
that the private act that occurred was not forced, and that the anger towards their clients was the community's need
that was go time. You hear motherfucking drunk?
Not.
Yeah, I'm going to go
This
ask.
is a tragedy.
Miss Brooks was alive?
Not like that, though. You know what I'm saying? It was probably like $10 or some shit. Nigga won't break in the bank on a nigga ass or nothing like that. But at the same time, that is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, bro, you know. But V-Bucks, that shit ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying?
This would not be a crime.
But it just the example of it.
And so the only reason it's there is because
the attorney, Kerry Miller, said that Madison was violated and that blaming her for what happened is a horrible tactic. Miller highlighted that someone that intoxicated
she gotta take blame for this shit for sure. Like I said, this shit ain't no one way. This shit ain't no two play. This shit ain't no one player mode. This shit is everybody's fault. This is the friend's fault. This is her fault, and it's the nigga's fault for sure. Cause out of 4 niggas, 1 nigga should have been nigga enough to, hey, bro, nah, don't do that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? On some, you know what I'm saying? On some regular nigga shit. Like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You wildin', bro. Like, chill. You know what I'm saying? I can see myself doing that. Nigga, bitch can't even pronounce a word right. You talking about some, hey, bro, I can hit that jump. Like, the fuck is you doing? The fuck are you doing, really? Like, come on, bro, chill. You know what I'm saying? That shit is not that serious. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. I promise y'all that shit not that serious. Using the bitch, you know what I'm saying, while she drunk, like, it's not that serious.
Should be helped and not be taken advantage of. Definitely not be dropped off in the middle of nowhere all by herself.
We're not going to allow any victim blaming to occur here. She was a victim of a horrific, which led to her death.
Yeah, I said niggas like this, they need to shut up because this is why shit like this gonna keep going on and on and on and on and on. And if she like you, she got to take blame for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Even though she no longer here no more, rest in peace. But everybody has to take blame for this shit. You get drunk to a point to where you can't even control yourself. You the goddamn you gotta take blame. You gotta take blame. If she was alive to this day and she was on the jump, she gotta understand, like, all right, I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? If I never got that drunk, if I controlled myself the right way like an adult's supposed to, I wouldn't be going through this. And I'm like I said, I'm not saying it's right because it's not right at all. But gotta take blame. Gotta take blame.
Meanwhile, Reggie's continued to be in hot water as local law enforcement, together with the Louisiana Office of Alcohol and Tobacco Control, or ATC, continued their investigation. They uncovered a whole spread of problems connected to the establishment, the most common of which was the constant turning of a blind eye on who they served liquor to, which had been already happening for several years. Reggie's was also the place where LSU football player Dylan Gordon was stabbed multiple times in a bar fight in 2016, while in 2022, a male patron was fatally wounded.
We don't give a fuck about this.
The game here. These penalties will be imposed.
Sure, that underage individuals don't have access to alcohol. This business failed in this regard, and it led to tragic circumstances.
Eventually, the ATC charged Reggie's with 28 violations of state liquor laws, including 24 counts of unlawful distribution. The bar was initially on probation and was fined up to $15,000 for their offenses. The owner, Darren Adams, was barred permanently from an alcohol and tobacco license in Louisiana. Later in the year, Reggie's was closed for good.
Yeah, there we go.
On January 20th, 2024, the case continued as the First Circuit Court of Appeal granted Attorney Long access to Madison's phone records dating back to 72 hours before her demise. This allowed him to discover new details.
That nigga look
Soon
crazy.
prompted him to file a motion in the 19th Judicial District Court on March 11th, 2024, for a preliminary examination of new evidence. Based on her phone data, Long claimed that another male had private activities with Madison the day before she passed, and that one of her female friends confirmed the details. Long stressed that the intimate injuries found on Madison's body could have been caused during this encounter, not on the night she was with the suspects. However, the district attorney countered that involving the victim's intimate history was inappropriate. The motion is expected to be held later this year, where the court will go over these new allegations. As of this writing, the trial for Kaysen Carver, Kayvon Washington, Desmond Carter, and Everett Lee is yet to be scheduled. While their fates are still undetermined, Madison's mother, Ashley Bostard, continues to hope that justice for her daughter will be served in due time. By February 3rd, 2023, Madison was finally laid to rest in her hometown of Covington, Louisiana. The Mass was held at St. Peter Catholic Church, followed by the interment at Pinecrest Memorial Garden.
Don't bury me at no
church. The funeral was attended by family and numerous friends of Madison, all paying tribute to the beloved woman.
She was always there for everyone. Honestly, it just breaks my heart.
Ashley Bostard has also put together a non-profit organization called the Madison Brooks Foundation to honor her daughter's memory. The foundation promoted safety for the youth in hopes of preventing what happened to Madison from occurring to anyone else. They also spread awareness about organ donation, since Madison's heart valves and kidneys were donated after her untimely demise, thus turning her tragedy into hope for someone else. On May 7th, 2023, what would have been Madison's birthday, Ashley visited New York to witness one of the billboards feature a slideshow about her daughter and the foundation.
Really, the goal of Maddie's mom is to never have this happen again, to never have any other family feel the kind of pain that she's feeling right now.
We want to provide a scholarship for someone in need.
Damn, Mom.
To advocate
surgery
for the safety.
You look negative. You look like you got a bad type of energy going on. Look fake. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not fault. I'm just letting some shit be known. I'm tired as hell right now, so I'm just saying shit. But I do mean it though. But what's going on? Did we hear about the?
To spread awareness for the gift of organ donation, which Maddie was able to donate her heart valve
How old is she?
kidney.
Meanwhile, the female LSU students who knew Madison also banded together to create a safe space group where women who needed a ride home could ask for one for free.
Hoping more girls will take advantage of this and be like,
Yeah, the friends.
hey, I need a ride, instead of just walking home or getting a ride from a total
Yeah.
stranger.
Today, the Madison Brooks Foundation stands strong and continues to honor the memory of a life tragically cut short.
Damn. Yeah. Females out there watching this video, man, don't like. All jokes aside, bro, don't like. First of all, first and foremost, if you go to the bar with somebody, or I don't like saying that shit. That shit sound cringe. If you go anywhere with somebody, I don't give a fuck what it is, and you turn up, bruh, not only make sure you got like people that you can trust around you, but don't like all this unnecessary drinking. This shit is pointless. Like, this shit is pointless. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never understand. I never understood that shit. Just drinking. Like, what are you getting out of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not blaming her at all. You know what I'm saying? Even though what I say is what I said though. But I'm not blaming her, you know what I'm saying, for this shit that, because it was their fault 90, 85%. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't have did that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like I said, all it took is for one nigga, you know what I'm saying? Because when you cool with a group of niggas and one nigga like really like, yo, like, nah, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? That shit, you know what I'm saying? That shit hit. That shit hit. I ain't saying on no, bro, you know what I'm saying? On no big man type shit, but all it took is like you could tell when a nigga like really just being honest with you, like, so that shit crazy, man. That shit crazy. That's it for the video, man. If y'all enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, me up.